Now that we understand how we're going to use our tools to train our horse, what we're going to do now is I've developed a bunch of little test drills to make sure that your horse accepts your cues and you can effectively deliver them to your horse. What we're going to start with is we need to be able to separate the cues that we give with our hands from the cues we give with our legs. And this first drill we're going to work on is just basically walking a straight line where we establish an arc in alignment to the left or the right with our horse's face and neck while we keep the body going straight. What you're going to see when I start this drill is the horse will want, when I pull his face one way, his body's going to want to do something different besides go straight. So we're going to use our legs in rhythm to keep the forward cadence that we talked about earlier. But if the horse pushes against our left leg, we're just going to use that leg just a little bit harder. Okay? What that's going to look like is there's your rhythm with your leg, and then this one's just going to hit just a little harder. Okay? Notice how my left hand is hitting just a little harder than my right. So that's how we're going to push our horse's body around. Okay? If that doesn't work, if they don't listen to that little harder rhythm, then we're going to actually push with it, push with our one leg, but keep forward cadence if we have to with our other one. All right, let's try this drill and we'll see what happens. You're going to have to follow me with the camera. We're going to ride in a straight line, and we're going to take our horse's face one side, keep our legs walking forward. When our horse accepts, always protecting our barrier, way we massage our face, then we're going to take his face the other side. I'll go back around and do that again. Walk on a straight line. We arc his face with our direct rein. We use our indirect rein to control the shoulder. If the shoulder drifts, you know how I use my indirect rein to stop it from drifting. I use my legs to keep the feet walking forward. And we can do this at a walk and a trot. A good way to make sure that you have your horse walking straight and nothing's leaning is to do this drill against a fence. As you can see, I don't have one out here, so I have to rely on my own body feeling when he's straight and when he's not. But if you have a fence or some straight line that you can ride beside, whenever you flex their nose one way or the other, you'll feel their body if their hip wants to turn, their belly wants to turn with it, their shoulder wants to drift in or out. Okay, what do we do if the horse's shoulder, if we take his face like this, and right there you saw he wanted to drift his shoulder out, we block the shoulder, the outside shoulder, with the indirect rein. Okay, if the shoulder wants to drop in, we block it with the same rein we're setting the arc with. Okay, we always try to keep our horse between our reins, and we use both of them to control the shoulders. Okay? Okay, this next drill we're going to do, I mentioned a little earlier in one of the previous tapes, we call this a circle drill, and what we do to set this up is we set a cone or a marker in the middle, we measure 3 feet from the cone and we draw a circle. I did this with my boots in the dirt. We step out 3 feet and we draw another circle in the dirt. And then we step out 3 more feet and we draw another circle. Okay, this is going to give you a visual of what a perfect circle is. And to walk a perfect circle or guide in a perfect circle, our horses have to be arced through their whole body. If they're not, you'll see they will step on the lines. So how we do this drill, I'm going to walk into the middle, to the circle here that's 3 and 6 feet from the cone. And I'm just going to walk. And I'm going to try not to step on the lines. And I can feel my horse's shoulders pushing on me. And I'm using my hands like we talked about. Block the shoulder with the indirect rein. Set an arc with the inside rein, with the direct rein. Keep forward motion. If you notice, as soon as I got better forward motion, he started to arc his body and do this circle better. We're going to do this in both. Right there he leaned in, so I used my inside leg to encourage a little more forward motion and softness, because he leaned on my leg, not my hand. Okay, there he leaned on my hand. I massaged on his inside jaw and a little on the outside to catch his shoulder. And we just keep encouraging him forward. Then we're going to go out to the outside circle and we're going to do the trot. We trot between the one that's 6 feet and 9 feet from the circle, from the cone. And it's the same thing. We keep our forward rhythm. Right there he leans in, but he leaned on my belt, on my leg, not my hand. If you notice, I've set an arc with my inside direct rein, and I'm using my other 3 tools to keep him in this circle. The only time I'm massaging with that inside rein is when he leans on it. And we're going to do this drill in both directions until we can go around and not step on the line. Notice there he leaned in on my inside leg. He's getting a little bit out of alignment, so I'm messing with my hands, trying to get his face back into alignment with his shoulders. Okay, right there. Notice how I used my hands there because he was tipping his nose out. I had to block his shoulder without increasing the arc, so I had to keep the outside rein massaging to get. So when I pulled up here, he didn't increase the arc and drift the shoulder out. We just try to get him back into alignment. Okay, this next drill is going to help us work on our rhythm and feeling our horse with our body and our seat and our legs, our hands. We need to feel our horse if we're going to ride in rhythm. So what we call this drill, this is the dance drill or the two-step drill, because we're going to count with our horse. We're going to walk our horse forward and we're going to feel when our horse's front feet touch the ground. And I don't care which foot you start with. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? That's the walk rhythm of my horse. You notice how I got a nice forward cadence before I started to count? And if you have to start, you can look down to make sure you've got this right. Okay, I started that time with the inside front foot, which is usually a good idea. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You notice if I change his cadence, now all of a sudden I can feel it because my count's off, he's not moving. So then I got to go back to my legs to drive him forward. The reason this is important, if we kick our horse or we massage our horse's face out of rhythm, they do not respond as well. Okay, I realized this when I got on a bunch of horses at a clinic, and the horse responded to me very quickly, and they weren't quite as quick responding to the person that owned the horse. The reason was I got on and I started pulling in rhythm and I started pushing in rhythm. Okay, so we really need to work on our rhythm if we want to be effective riders. Now we can do this drill at the trot too. We're going to do a circle, we're going to establish a forward cadence. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? You notice how the trot rhythm was a little quicker, which it's supposed to be. You got to get used to it, okay? Then when you put that together with what we call the dance drill, and the dance drill is what you're going to do is go in the circle. You're going to feel your horse's stride through your legs, and then you're going to exaggerate it. Okay, we talked about this in a previous video. This is very important. Why? We have to push and pull on our horses in rhythm. Okay, you notice how I'm exaggerating the rhythm that my legs naturally want to do. If I just hang them there, the horse's body is naturally trying to push my legs like that. I'm exaggerating it. This drill is not only good for you, it's good for your horse. And we talked about this earlier. If your horse will not let you put your leg on them, they will not respond softly. They will react quickly. We need our horses so we can put our legs on them and guide them. And we push our horses with our legs. We don't spur them. Okay, we'll get into that as we go further into this stuff. I guess I should talk a little bit about pushing because we've covered some of you. Everybody's starting to use their legs a little bit. What I want you to do when you're practicing this drill, this circle, with any of these drills, you push with your leg. Stop. I'm going to edit.